Hi everyone and welcome to Top Notch. Today we're going to be talking about keywords, and I'm sure as an affiliated marketer, as you're starting out to create a website, whether it is like for a website like for yoga, how to build websites, how to become an entrepreneur. It does not matter what type of website you are building. One of the key elements to get traffic to your website is to use what's called a keyword. There are many different tools that you can use, whether it's free or if you have to pay for it. In the very beginning, when you're starting your website out or your business out, usually I like to direct traffic to anything that's free to make it easier and more cost efficient for you. So on our below, you're going to see different websites that either cost money to come up with keywords or it's free. We do have recommendations that you can follow, but in the beginning we're going to be talking about what this powerful tool is and how to use keywords. So when you're creating your page for your website, you need to keep in mind what are good keywords for you to use for your website that you can pull from the tools that we will list below. This is critical. Keywords and finding what the keyword is for your website is one of the most critical tools to get more traffic to your website. So if you're building a website like that's designed just for yoga, how to do yoga, a beginner's guide for yoga, an advanced guide for yoga, you're not just going to put the word yoga to get traffic, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different websites that come up on Google search in the first page of Google search when you're typing in the word yoga. So maybe you want to use different words that pertain to yoga. Only people who do yoga know the word that you're talking about, and it'll direct them right to your website, for example. So if you're designing a website and your subject is yoga, you're going to put in keywords like half moon, downward dog, pigeon pose, pigeon posture, and that's going to direct people to your website as opposed to somebody that just puts yoga in there. Maybe somebody is looking how to do a half moon. You know, people who do yoga, they understand what those words are. So those words are going to pop out to the people that are searching your website. So another example is if you're trying to become an entrepreneur. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, there are different categories, whether you're designing an Etsy website, you want to start selling crafts on Etsy, or if you want to design your own shop on the internet, you're an entrepreneur there. So you're going to want to pick out keywords or key phrases that are referring to your website to drive your traffic there. So when they go to put in a particular word for your entrepreneur website or your yoga website, you want to pick out or find what the keywords are to get the traffic to come to your site, to get that traffic to keep coming back. Once they select your website, it's going to be mostly at the top of like a Google search. Another example is if you're running a business in Chicago, Illinois for a pet grooming business, what you'll want to appear on your website at the top of Google's list for key phrases is maybe grooming, grooming for pets, pet grooming, pets. Those are key words that you want to use to get that traffic to come to your site. And there are tools that we're going to provide lists that are either free, some of them are free, and some of them, they do cost money. In the very beginning, as you're designing your website, sometimes money is very hard to come up with. So we recommend different free websites that will guide you with the right keywords or key phrases that you want to use on your website. So in the very beginning, you need to think of keywords as a critical tool that you need to use. The only keywords you really need to worry about when you're getting started, when you're designing your website, are the keywords that your clients, your customers, your followers are actually typing in the search engine. There are different ways to find out what keywords are best for your website. There's 3 different elements that I usually go by. Customer research. That's number 1. That doesn't cost any money. Nobody knows your market, your website, your business better than you do. Instead of relying on different companies or websites to find out what the keywords are, start writing out a list of the different keyword variations that you have on your website that your customers might be looking for. That's one of the most powerful tools that you can use when it comes to keywords. Another element is Google Analytics. We all know one day Google is going to take over the world. And with Google Analytics, if you have Google Analytics installed on your website, you can go to the traffic source menu. In here, what you can do with the traffic source is you'll be able to do what's called an organic search on the visitors and see the list of the actual keywords that they're using to actually drive them to your website. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot where your results will come up as not provided under Google Analytics. Another thing that you can do is, if you use Google, you can go over and conduct searches for each of the individual keywords that you have made on your list. And then when you go over to Google, you can scroll down to the bottom for results. In this section, you should see a separate section where Google lists other keywords that are related to your original word, to what your phase was, your phrase. In here is if you're going through that list and you see keywords that are relevant to your business, to your website, they should be put into your actual keyword list. So now that you have your keyword list put together, what you can start doing is thinking about what keyword search volume is and keyword competition. And this is where a tool called Google AdWords comes into play. And they have a tool in Google AdWords called Keyword Planner. This is a really powerful tool that you can use when it comes to your actual keywords. The only thing at this point that you're gonna have to have is what's called a Google AdWords account, which does not cost any money to create the account for your website. Right here is when you're in the Google AdWords, you're going to go to Keyword Planner. At this point, this is where you're going to either put in the list of keywords that you have already created, and you're going to put them into the Keyword Planner. And this will show you how each of those words are being performed. Once you select that Google search volume button, it's going to give you an estimate of the amount of monthly searches that each keyword that you have selected receives, and how competitive tools like Google thinks the phrase is that you're using, either the phrase or the word that you're using. So at this point, if you have a market that is considered small, and small, what I mean by that is like anywhere from 100 to 1,000 visitors per month, this is where a keyword with, a monthly search of the visitors that come to your website, let's say 100 visitors or 500, could be quite lucrative for you. Also, when it comes to keywords and you're in your website, your business is, you have a lot of competitors that are dedicated to that one particular area that you are, what you need to do is called search competition. So with search competition, serving a market that's a lot larger than the 500 to 1,000 visitors per month, it might not even be worth the time for your site or for you to do the keywords with less than 3,000 to, I would say, anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 average monthly searches. So what you need to do is target tough keywords. And what I mean by to get tough with, to target tough keywords, what you're going to do is you're just going to go a little bit deeper than your competition is going when it comes to the keyword. Another thing that you can do is you can actually move away from the commercial keywords. Use other keywords that benefit your site as opposed to what your competitor is using. Another strategy to use when it comes to targeting tough keywords is buy traffic. Traffic. That is one of the ways that it's the most critical element that you're going to have to use to get to come to your website. This is what's going to make or break you. So you can either buy traffic, and there's going to be websites that we're going to show you how to obtain traffic, whether it's free or whether you have to pay for it. But to have traffic to keep coming to your site, it is one of the most critical elements that you're going to use. Once you start understanding how the concept of keywords and keyword ranking and how to use that to get traffic to your website, or how to obtain that the traffic to your website, once you understand the concept of everything, it will become a lot more easier for you to pick out those keywords. So you're gonna have to remember that there's free versus paid keyword tools. The ones that you do pay for are obviously going to be a little bit better than the free ones are. But if you're just getting started, it's a great way to start with the free keyword tools. And on our website, you can see that we have a list of free and paid keyword tools that we have used that we think are really good tools in order to make you successful as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as an affiliated marketer, as a yoga instructor. These are really good websites that we find that are beneficial to you, whether you're going to use the free ones or the paid ones. So some key points that you need to consider is you need to ask yourself if the keyword you're using is relevant to your website, to your business. Use major engines and search for terms and phrases that are associated with your website. And lastly, understand the demand for a given term, word, or phrase that you are using to achieve an actual higher ranking on places like Google or Yahoo or Bing when they're putting in these keywords in their search engine. So in reality, if you have like big companies like Pepsi or Coke or John Deere, Dell Computers, those are really big businesses and they have big brands that usually what they do is they take the top 10 results when people are putting in different words like computers, tractors, anything like that. So in the beginning, the uphill battle for ranking can take years on your part to be on the first page of Google search. So that is why it's essential to understand how important keywords are to get traffic to your website. So this is our actual, what we find with keywords, the importance of them, how to use them, different search tools, different tools that you will be using to create your website, to critique your website, to get that traffic to come to your website. And you know, like we always say, if you have any recommendations, questions, concerns, anything that you want help with, please either follow us on YouTube, email us, provide any question you want, and we're going to do our best to help you and make your website, your financial freedom, everything more easier for you to obtain that financial freedom that you do deserve.